Hello, today we're going to be talking about programming a Unity card that goes inside a lot of Libre units and Vertiv units, Emerson Network Power units. So let's get started. Over here you can see there's a Unity card, and that's what you find in your unit. And all you do to configure is connect it to your laptop with an Ethernet cable. It's just a regular Cat5 Ethernet cable, nothing special about it. And you can see I got one end plugged into the Unity card and the other end plugged into my laptop's Ethernet port. So then you want to make sure that you get your Ethernet port set up correctly. So I'm going to go over to Network Connections on my computer. Okay, Ethernet. I'm going to change adapter options. So however you get to this page on your computer, you'll need to do that. And you find your Ethernet connection. Let's do a right click and go to Properties. And we're using TCP IPv4, so we'll select that and go to Properties. Okay, what we want to do in this case is make sure that our computer is set up to obtain an IP address automatically, or use DHCP, whatever you want to call it. So I'll click that, and I'll say OK. Close this. Okay. So I have my Ethernet cable plugged into the Unity card right now, so it shows that there's an unidentified network. If it wasn't connected, it would look like this with the X. Okay, so if you got the X, you're not connected. Okay, I'm plugged back in. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and open up a browser. I like to use Chrome, but you can use Firefox or something else. Okay, and I'm going to go to the default IP address for the Unity card. And the default IP address for the Unity card is 169.254.24.7. Hit enter. Okay, so there's the web page for my Unity card. So from here, if I want to set it up, put an IP address on it for your network, you click the Communications tab. Over here to the left, and you go to Configuration, expand that menu, and where it says Network, you can click on that. Okay, and most of the time you're going to be using IPv4. IPv6, not very many people are using it at this point, so right now I'm just going to worry about IPv4. So I click that, and this is where you can give it an IP address if you're going to. So what you would do is you would click Edit, and password in this case, username and password is Liebert and Liebert with a capital L, so L-I-E-B-E-R-T. Same thing for a password. Okay, so now I'm logged in and I can edit this page. So in this case here, I've got it set for static IP address, but when you get it from the factory, it's probably going to be set for DHCP. And DHCP is when the network, you just let the customer's network assign it an IP address. In this case, though, we're going to give it a static IP address. And in this case, I'm giving it 192.168.8.251. Okay. And you can also configure your DNS servers and default gateways and stuff like that here as well. Okay, so once you do that, you got to click Save. Okay. Okay, now, I didn't actually make a change here, so it's not going to actually change anything. But if I had made a change, it would pop up with a message that says that I have to restart the card for the changes to take effect. Okay, so I'm going to show you where to go to do that, because that can be hard to find sometimes. So I'm going over to the left. I go down to the bottom over here, and there's something called Support. Click that, and all I do to restart the card is click Enable, and then Restart. I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do it later. Okay, now, that's how you set up the IP address for the web page. Let's say you want to configure this for a BMS system, so you need like BACnet or Modbus. What you do in this case is you come over to still in the Communications tab, over here to Protocols. Okay, this is where you select what protocol you're going to program it for. So what I'll do is say you want to make it BACnet, so you have to hit edit here. And if you haven't already given it a password, it will ask you for a password. Okay, and then so we're doing BACnet, we'll click BACnet. Okay, then we will click Save. Okay, now in this case here, the way I've got it set, it's set for SNMP and BACnet. It can do all of these things all at the same time, so that's kind of good. So there's that message I told you about earlier. Since I did make a change, it says restart of the system is required for the new settings to take effect. Okay. All right. So now I have this set for BACnet, and then you got to go into BACnet and give it all the information it needs there. So this is where you would decide if you're going to be read-only or read-write, and what kind of BACnet is it going to be? Is it going to be IP or is it going to be MSTP? In this case, we're doing IP. This is where you set the object instance number and object name. And then you would click Save. Okay. So once you do that, then you have to come down further to your your BACnet IP in this case. And this is where you have some more BACnet IP settings, such as what port and stuff like that. The default port for BACnet IP is 47808. Okay, so, and of course, once you make any changes here, you click Save. Now, had you selected MSTP over here, then you would have to come down to the MSTP section and give a node ID and baud rate, stuff like that. Okay, then you click Save. Now if you're doing Modbus, pretty much the same way, except under protocols, you would edit it, select Modbus. Okay, then you would come down to Modbus, select whether it's read-only or read-write, and whether or not it's Modbus TCP, which is over Ethernet, or the 2-wire version. Okay, RTU. So once you've made that selection, you've got your more stuff to do here, like you get Modbus TCP. It's got a couple settings. You don't usually have to mess with these, but maybe you might have to. And here's more settings for Modbus RTU. This is where you give a node ID and baud rate and parity check. And of course, whenever you edit something, you gotta click Save. Okay, so at this point, after you've done all your configurations, that's when you come down here to Support, Enable or Restart, and go ahead and restart it. You want to continue? Yes. Okay, and if after you do all this, it may look like this for like 10 minutes. Sometimes these cards take a long time to reboot. And the same is true if you stick a card into a unit for the first time. You're not going to see card up all at once. It's going to look like this for a while until it establishes communication with the unit and develops its web page and everything. So pretty much there we are.